Okay, well, the first thing I want to get started with tonight is I mentioned last week how I did my vision board. I did a new vision board. So I thought I would share it and just in a way of encouraging, you all to do yours. I don't do these often. This is only the second one I've ever done. I did one like 5 years ago. And but I've been collecting my favorite magazines over the last year or so with the intention of doing a new one. So I finally took the time to do it. And it was a really interesting exercise for me because, I've got some big ticket items on here, pretty lavish, and so, when I put a yacht on here and a private jet and, $30,000 watches, and a $70,000 car and a hot bod and relationship-oriented elements and, fine whiskey and cigar and the good life, some interesting things came up to me on the topic of abundance and prosperity and versus unlimited thinking. Especially it's like, who am I to put a yacht like that on my vision board or, a $30,000 watch. I love this watch. It's got like north, east, south, and west on it and the U.S. on it. And it just came up, what came up was like, it's an abundant universe and all of this is out there and it gets created every day. People believe in it every day. They create it every day. They enjoy it every day. They just don't create a yacht and then nobody uses it. There's a variety of items for all different tastes and all different preferences. And it's basically about staking your claim. And so the concept of the vision board is to create a vision that makes you stretch your thinking, your beliefs, the possibilities. Because if I look at this and say, none of that's even possible, and that's the energy I direct towards it, that's the results I'm going to get. I'm going to get stuck. I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to project limited thinking, which is going to create limited opportunities. But by looking at this and going, man, this stuff is out there. If it's out there and somebody has it, it also means that I can have it or something like it or something that brings me as much joy as I think that would bring me. And therein we can live in a world of manifestation, of positive manifestation, of divine right action that is aligned with what we really want to do and be and learn and grow. You're learning French. I guess your plan is to travel to France or islands where they speak French?
France.
Okay.
I have France is on my vision board.
France is on your vision board. Excellent. Excellent. And so when you put something out there, you can then align your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions towards it. And that's true with everything. We are here tonight because we set an intention to get in our car, drive from point A to point B within a certain amount of time, walk into a building, and sit down. That is creative power at work, intentional creative power. Because we all could have decided to get in our car and go home and watch TV tonight and get a different result from that. But the whole key is to really blow the doors open on how we're thinking, what we're seeing, what we allow ourselves to really see and accept as real for us. Because we still have all of these blinders on, mostly from how we grew up, mostly from beliefs and concepts and words and phrases that our parents or our siblings or our grandparents or our friends or culture around us, we heard them utter, and then for some strange reason we decided to start to believe their version of their world as our version. And then we wonder why we get the results we get, or why we got the results that we got. It's always because a certain mindset was involved. And of course, the saying is that you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. Most of the time, things from our old mindset that created the problem in the first place. And we're trying what we think are new ways, new solutions, but we're doing so with old energy, old beliefs running in the background. And so I really challenge you to look at your vision board if you have one. If you don't have one, get a new one or add to the one that you have, with the whole idea of new energy. What are your all's thoughts on that?
I've only done one vision board, and that was several years ago. I need to go back and do it again. I divided mine up by categories of thought. So
Yes.
I had health in one area and like relationships in another area, and you know what I mean? I kind of separated it out. And it was very helpful, but I also, and a lot of the things that are on there have happened. Some are still in progress. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So, I would probably do well to go back and do another one and just have it up. I don't even have it up anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it feels old now.
Well, and that's a good
But
point.
It's not current goals.
Right.
You know.
It needs to be fresh.
Yeah.
You want fresh. So I would recommend starting a whole new vision board.
Right.
Something you can invest and put in brand new energy and intent into. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the old one, except for the fact that it's old. You know, your vibration with those things, even if it's still there, it's the old picture. If you had a car on your old vision board, that model's gone, okay?
Right.
Put the most recent model of the car that you want on there. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It helps with the vibration and the energy of it.
Those things are amazing. My first vision board was a notebook that I had written, 10 things that I wanted to see. And then I actually got really bold and I said, on my 62nd birthday, I want to be, left this job. And then my mom's issue came up and I looked back and right, I was like, this actually took place. I had no idea that it was going to take place, but so many things that I had written in there and kind of detailed. Then I had kind of folded it up and got involved in some other things. And the next year I looked and said, you are doing all these things that you actually did.
Excellent.
Actually came about.
Right.
So I do need to redo my vision board. I have to put it under my bed right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's okay. Just leave it. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Thank you, Jenna. Yes, that is the right view. The right view of it. It's amazing what having a vision can do for us. But the first thing about a vision is, after you have it, believe that it's possible. If you don't believe that the vision is possible, you're going to be very limited into how much you can vibrate with it, and and the motivation you'll have to do it. Okay? You'll just be limited because it doesn't feel good to you. You'll get frustrated, you'll get resentful, you'll shame on yourself, you'll guilt yourself about failure, or you're not good enough and you don't deserve it, and it's not even really out there in the first place. So what do? We talk ourselves out of it. Oh, I'm really not supposed to do that after all. I'm supposed to do something else. Or that's so big and so grand, I really should be just content with what I have, and what I have is good enough. I really don't need to put myself out there and try and do better or do more or be better or be more, because I'm supposed to be content with where I'm at. And we can generate all these. Again, these are old beliefs, things we've heard people share, over and over again around us. And the first thing we do is go to that space. And next thing you know, we're frustrated. Or we quit. We just throw in the towel and say, now I'll just go back to what I'm doing, or whatever I'm doing is not worth it. And we can talk ourselves out of anything. Isn't it amazing how we can rationalize or justify quitting, either quitting, low effort, mediocre effort. It's okay to be average. I was listening to an Audible book the other day, and the guy was talking about average, Grant Cardone. He was talking about being average. And he goes, who goes to an average movie? Does anybody ever say, oh, I'm just going to love that movie. It's an average movie, and I'm just going to go see that average movie. Or, oh, I look average in that new clothes. I look average in that outfit. I'm going to buy that average-looking outfit.
Sometimes when I'm online with the dating online thing, some people will say, I'm just a, and I'm like, that turns me on. I'm just a.
I love that, just a.
No, you're not just a. No, we don't want
that is a just a. I like that. Don't be a just a. I think that. Thank you for sharing that, Candace, because that is a really significant and popular mindset. I'm just a mom. I'm just a, stay-at-home mom with a job, or I'm just a retiree and I'm doing my thing after, or I'm just a guy who's got an office on the square and, some people come see me, or, hey, I'm just an IT guy, doing my computer thing. That justa is like, a big needle in our balloon that just instantly deflates us the instant we think about it. But that's normal. See, justa is average, mediocre, okay, or good enough. And I'm not talking about our soul's good enough, but that our effort is good enough. When we have all this potential to do so much more. And
Huh? What if the person just don't want to brag about themselves?
Well, that's different. It's different to have a high potential and be humble, right? Saying you're humble, or the thing is just isn't about me comparing myself to you. See what I'm saying? When I'm saying justa, I'm comparing myself to the bigger potential of myself.
Yeah, most of the time it's not followed by anything really great.
Yeah. No, I'm just a husband, I'm just a father, I'm just a guy, I'm just this, I'm just that. And so on this side of the equation is average, mediocre, okay, should be, content with. And we settle. We settle in that space. And hey, look, it's not a bad space. We're going to survive. We're going to drink a cold beer. We're going to watch TV. We're going to hang out with friends. We're going to go see family. We're still going to celebrate Christmas. Well, we can have a decent life, and I can live till I'm 90 as Justa with no problem. If that's what I want. And if that's really what you want, then by all means, jump into being a Justa and own it and live the Justa life and embrace it. All right? But I'm telling you, from what I know of all of y'all and myself, there's this part inside of us that says, otherwise we wouldn't be here tonight, that says, no, I don't want to be just a fill in the blank. I want to be more, know more, do more, influence more, give more, share more, build more, create more. And you can't do anything with a more on it if you're living life as just an average person, as just a mediocre person. And again, look, like I said, this is not about judging the efforts of anybody else. It's not comparing ourselves, because that would be the ego part that says, oh, you're just and I'm that's ego. Okay? Spirit says, I'm not just I'm a greater than, or more than, or I've got more that I want to do, and therefore I'm going to go after that. It has nothing to do with comparing ourselves to anybody else. So, but when we get here, we do compare. This part is about comparison. Whereas over here, to go to the, let's go with the term excellence. I talked about this the other night with some people at a child care center who hired me to do a leadership presentation. We were talking about leadership, but in the terms of excellence, not perfection, because there's no such thing as perfect. See, we can go from the extreme of Justa to the idea of thinking we have to be some vision of perfection, either to ourselves or to others, that has no vibrational match anywhere, because it doesn't exist. But if we can go, excellence, how can I increase my excellence? How can I grow my excellence? How can I speak more excellent, act more excellent, work more excellent, serve more excellent? Then this gets me into the creative space versus comparison. And over here, I feel like I also have to compete. Oh man, I can't compete against you, so I might as well just stay average. I can't compete with the other health coach. I can't do as good of a job as they are, so I'm comparing myself to them. I might as well not. Besides, there's already so many of them out there anyway. Who am I to think that I'm going to make any difference? See, that's competing. But over here in the excellence world, you're going for creative. You're going for optimal. You're going for continuous improvement. You're going for more. This goes for less. And so, what part of our lives can we look at and observe and go, where am I being satisfied with myself as being just average? A C student. Hey, like I said, C students will pass. You can graduate as a C student. There's nothing wrong with C students. But if you check in with yourself, is that really where you want to land? Is that really want to be your assessment of your effort and your potential every day? And that's why doing an exercise like a vision board, there's no way I can do those things or acquire those things or align with the emotion of those things on my new vision board if I remain average or mediocre. I need to do some massive action. I need to fill this room up every night. Working on it. But, I mean, you know what I mean? So, in my vision, this room is full every night. And maybe I'm going to other parts of town in other rooms, filling those every night. Or renting out the Strand Theater once a week, and people come from all over the Atlanta area to the Strand Theater and sit there and eat popcorn while they listen. I don't know. But that is that requires more energy, more time, more focus, more effort, more growth. This is growth oriented, where this is stagnant. This is movement oriented. This is stuck. And so the universe is always asking us, well, John, what do you want? And whatever you want is okay. The universe isn't going to judge and tell me that it's not okay to be over here, or that it's not okay to be over here. It's just a matter of what we want. And it's going, look, all of this stuff, everything that you want is already out there. In fact, it's already done spiritually. Did you know that your success and your clients and your work and your practice and your career and your family and your relationships have all already been created spiritually? And you're already creating them spiritually in your head. And that it exists already. Although in the present moment it's not immediately available to you physically, it's just a matter of divine time and order before it becomes available. So the question is, if that's the truth, then this says, I'll be great when or if. Okay? This says, I'm great when? Now.
Could you also exchange the word great for enough? So like, I'll be enough when if, or
Absolutely.
I'll be enough now.
Absolutely. That's an excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'll be good enough when somebody I'll be good enough if I get this client. If only I could marry this person, or have this car, or get this job, or have this relationship, then I'm enough or good enough. And that's a killer.
Yeah, it is.
Because it puts all of our energy out in the future or in the past. See, this is also consistent with, well, I missed my opportunity to be great because I can't do it because I already blew it, or I'd have to go back into the past and change that in order for me to be great.
Wow, I wrote that today.
Did you? What'd you write?
I wrote,
I love it when that happens, see?
it's funny that you I wrote,
Sometimes
But
messages
you know,
come from like
and I
all these
wrote it-
different directions and you're like, okay.
in the morning. I wrote this in the morning because it was just on my mind. And I wrote, to live your life, change the past for the future, but only repeat the past. But embrace the past, free the mind, and live only in the present moment to align your peace and happiness only for today.
Absolutely. Dead on.
Yeah, in the morning this morning, I wrote it.
Excellent. That's perfect. So how did you feel after you wrote that?
Oh, I felt great. I really felt bad. I felt good already. I think that's why I wrote it, because I was just, I hate to say I was driving in a car, and in traffic, and then I got it down. But
Good.
I was just thinking that, feeling in a good place.
Last year, I had a revelation. I was working with my accountability the health coach, even we talk every other week. And I was complaining, I'm so broke because I had a lot of dental work I had to have done. It just set financially. And she said, "You're not broke." and she just said, "You're not broke." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I started just thinking about my life, how fortunate I am in so many areas. Even if I was financially broke, which I'm not totally broke, but I felt like that because it can do the things I wanted to do. And then I used to work in construction management. And I know what it takes to build a hospital. That's planning. 10 years before you even break ground. And I started looking at all these tower cranes, and all these buildings going up all over the place, and I said, money is moving.
Yes.
Money is moving. So
Yes.
clenching your fists.
Yes.
Go of some of this.
Yes.
So you can get some movement in your life.
Yep.
And it took away a lot of resentment I was holding, because I was able to see that, why are you so tight-fisted right now? Why are you so clenched together and being mad and angry at what's going on with you and other people? And it's like, look at what's going on. People are doing things, and as soon as that building goes up, there's going to be employees in it, or there's going to be people living in it, and actions are going to move, and money is going to move, and some of it will come your way if you don't.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Candace. That's an excellent observation, because that's all and only in our mind. I remember telling a girl several years ago, I was in between jobs, whatever, man, and I'm like, I feel like I'm down to my last, $100. Okay? And she looked at me and said, "You're not down to your last $100. What are you talking about?" But see, here is me, woe is me, my perception was such an illusion. It was completely false, but we buy it. We buy into it, and next thing you know, we identify it. Next thing you know, that's the story. And next thing you know, other people are like slapping us upside, people who really care and get it, are slapping us upside the head and telling us that's BS. You're never down to your last dollar. Never. You never have been, and you never will be. Even if you're completely broke today, does that mean I'm never going to have another dollar for a meal? No. Even people that are homeless get another dollar the next day. Right? Right? So, but we're convinced, living in this scarcity complex, that there's not enough. And that is all of that side. That is all that mediocre illusion that I don't have enough money. I could be great, but I'd have to go back to the past and change something and get the other degree that I was supposed to get. Well, or if only I could have been a doctor or a lawyer like my mama wanted me to be. Okay, then I would be a great man or a great person or be able to have a great influence. But that's the old, useless, scarcity-minded thinking that our egos keep convincing us is good for us and keeps us safe. See, that's another thing is over here is the, I'm running out of space, look at that, is the illusion of safety over here. Because we think that, oh, if I just stay small, if I just stay small, I'm safe. I'm protected. I don't ever have to put myself out there. I don't ever have to get hurt. I don't ever have to go bankrupt. If I never make $1 million, I can never go bankrupt as a millionaire. Okay? And so we get in this small-mindedness under the illusion that we're safe. But we're not safe at all. We are at risk every day in this mindset because it's fear-based.
That's what I was just about to say. All this is fear.
Yes. This is all a fear-based mentality. Where this over here is real safety and security. Why?
Because you'll actually be taking action toward your own safety and security.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I'm building empowerment over here. If I'm an empowered person and I'm stepping out there with courage, focus, vision, how am I going to handle something if it does come along? I'm going to handle it. Over here, I'm like, oh, I can't handle it. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, people would make fun of me and hate on me. You know, I have too many haters. Whereas out here, it's like, I don't care if there's haters or not. That's not going to bother me. I don't care if I run into this. I don't care if I need to find a financial resource in order to make my dream happen. I'm in an abundance mindset. There's plenty of money flowing out there. And people are even more generous than they are right now, than they used to be. I'm going to find a financial resource to help me figure it out. And then voila, you do.
I think it's hard when you to not have some of your life over on this category and some of your life over here. You know what I mean? Like on some areas of my life, I'm much more on the left, right? Where I'm being creative, moving towards growth, and then there's other areas of my life that are totally stuck in fear, right? So, or not maybe totally stuck, but I find myself having to disassemble fear in my life in different areas, right? So, let's say for an example, like for right now, a friend of mine had lunch with me today, and we were talking about how it's always something. You know that phrase, it's always something. And I found that coming out of my mouth today, and then I went, oh no, this is a bad mindset start, right? Because we were talking about financially that there's always something that needs to be done, and it feels like she and I both shared this sentiment that sometimes it's hard to get ahead or whatever. And then I thought later after lunch, I was like, that's totally in my, that's because I just put it out there that there's not enough. Like,
sure.
That's just not good, But when you see with your eyes, there's a list of things piling up, like the dental work and the trees that need to be taken care of in the back, and my daughter needs this and my son needs that, and you know what I mean? Like, I get this sense of overwhelming fear growing, and then I know that it's not congruent with being on this side of the board, right? I know that, but it's hard to sometimes. I don't know. You just kind of have to arrest that thought.
Well, exactly. So here's the thing to remember, though. What we're talking about tonight, and the message is not you're supposed to be over here, and over here is always 100%. And if you're not over here all the time, there's something wrong. No, the message is, as human beings, the opportunity for growth and increase comes by being over here, because all human beings are in some aspect. Even the rich are going, oh man, I got boat repairs to make, okay? Or oh man, I need to go out and get a new private jet, okay? So I mean, even at that level, there's always more stuff, okay? So there's always stuff, because we're human beings. There will never be an end to, we will never stop doing something. There will always be a need to do something else unless we check out, right?
I think the difference is, like, I have fear, but I think I turned fear as human, but I turned the fear into actions. I don't run away from it. I got it.
Right.
And because of that, I'm more on this side. When that comes, I recognize it. I'm a coach. I've been coaching basketball for years, but every game I get nervous. But it's a good nervous.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, come up where you kind of, that first natural instinct is fear. And then later you say, what can we do now? I guess the whole idea is not to stay in it.
Well, that's just it. I mean, and that's the problem. If we stay over here, again, like the turtle, we're always right where we're supposed to be. Okay, anytime we're over here, over here, we're right where we're supposed to be in our learning and growth. And no two people's path is exactly the same, and it's not supposed to be. And there's no single path that is one straight line that is always in this. That's not life. Life is being over here in some things and over here in some things, and then going back and forth. Being high over here on something and then slam. Missed job opportunity. Okay, man, I thought I had it in the bag. Boom, now I'm back over here. Now I'm like, now what do I do? Okay, let me kick it up. All right, this will suck for a little bit, but I'll figure it out. Then it's like, boom. So there can be a constant, back and forth cycle that we go through, because it's not a perfect learning cycle. We're always learning more. Brandon, you had said something?
No, I mean, you said it. I was going to say it. You pretty much jump back and forth at some point. But I'm thinking, when you jump back and forth, it should be a moment where you get clarity on both sides.
Right.
Because the beauty is if you can be on both sides and come back, then you know where I was up. It should be more increase on this side.
Right.
Because I've actually lived this. I had a real life experience on the high side, or whatever you want to say, or it's just, I wouldn't even say it's a side. This is evolving.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, but you took the word out of it, but just jumping back and forth, like at different moments, different seasons, different stages in your life.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people, like I tell people, it's like, I tell young people, this life is like, where you always want to be is like, when you're in the hospital and you're sick, you hook up to the machines. And when the machine is going like this is life.
Yeah.
You live. But when it goes like that,
Yeah. When it's flatlining, there's nothing there.
you're gone. So they were like, wow. I said, hey, life is like
You want that up and down.
because that's, you live it. But the minute it goes straight line,
But you had a breakthrough moment, because you walked out of that conversation going, exercising some good self-awareness there, going, oh, that conversation had some energy to it. Oh, what kind of energy? How did that energy make me feel? Oh, no. So what's the truth?
Well, the truth is that in order to not live in fear, you have to believe that what is on that board is possible.
Right.
Because, that your needs are going to get met and that there is an abundance.
Right. And that there'll always be something else. But because there's always be something else, what does that also mean?
There's always a reason.
There's always a source that meet the need. That's the book about the ocean that I wrote the other week that I'm working on getting. Little picture book called Lessons from the Sea. But the sea, the gist is like the sea is our source, and we're a wave on top of the sea. We're just a wave. And when we go over into this kind of thinking, we think we're separate from the ocean. See, but a wave is never separate from the ocean. It's always moving. And the ocean's under there going, I got everything you could ever want and need. But we're riding on top, and we're thinking there's always something else, and I'm never... Do you know how much money it would take for me to have every single thing on that vision board right there? Yeah. Millions. Hundreds of millions, probably. Are there people out there with hundreds of millions of dollars?
Sure.
Yes, there are. You know? But and so if I go, this, you know, there's always something, and then I check myself, there's the opportunity for you to just keep practicing. Every time you have that thought, go, I'm calling BS. I'm going to call BS. Not true. State the truth. There's an infinite source always available to me for whatever I need. I go to radical trust and alignment to believe and receive it. What actions can I take today that demonstrate that trust? Oh, I can pick up the phone. I can go get another client. I can expand my business. I can, right? And so, congratulations to you, Jenna, for doing that check-in with yourself afterwards and for paying attention and going, that's not true. And so the next time you're with your friend and you're having that conversation, what kind of response would you say? How would you have a different conversation with the same friend? How would you help her tell a new story?
Probably just by telling her examples of where resources have shown up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That were unexpected in other areas. So it's hard when somebody else is really negative. You know what I mean? To not get sucked into that. But I think it's agreeable that there is almost always something that needs to be done in your life that requires a resource from somewhere. I mean,
Sure.
That's the truth about life. But maybe I could say that's the truth about life. There is always something that needs to be done, but I'm choosing to believe there's going to be a resource somewhere.
Absolutely.
And say something to that effect.
I think that would be not only a powerful statement for you to think through and to form in your head and to live with that thought, but then to articulate it to her.
Right.
And when she hears it, she's either going to call BS on it because she disagrees, or it will catch her kind of off guard because she's used to the old type of conversation with you, and she'll go, oh no, maybe you're right. And so here's where you go in and you say, you know, I was thinking about the conversation we had the other day, and I realized I had to call BS on myself. Because there's always going to be something. But what I've learned is there's never been anything that I've gone through to date for which resources have not been supplied.
That's true.
Is that a true statement for all of us? Yes. Amen.
Or even worked out better.
Or even worked out better. Thank you, Brandon. You know what? I have found whenever I thought I was down to my last $100, that more resources became available.
And also, too, in a lot of cases in life, after you've gone through whatever you've gone through, I have one where you'll say, it was right there in front of my face the whole time. I just never asked. I never told this person what I needed. And they'll come back to you and reassure you, I could have helped you if you would have just said something, or I had this, or you know, it's like your mind. But I think lot of times when we are in situations, we have to. I'm a big advocate now in believing that you have to step away from a situation because when you're in it, you're in your head. You sabotage yourself.
Yes.
But when you when you try to step away from a situation, you can see things much clearer, and you like what you were saying. Like when you let go, you're no longer suffocating and trying to make it.
Absolutely. You're trying to force it. You're trying to control it. We're trying to play God. We try and play God a lot. How often do we try and play God? Oh, I should have gotten that, and I'm going to force it, and I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to, And then we don't, and then we wonder why. Okay? When in fact it's like, I know what I want. I'm going to show up in vibration as if I already have it, and I'm going to trust that even if it doesn't work out that way, it's this or always something better that I'm going to be guided to. So I'm going to stop chasing. See? Over here we chase. I'm running out of room. You know? No, over here we chase, and what I want to say about chase, this is not like chasing your dreams. This is like chasing from the aspect that I don't have it and I have to control it, and so I got to go running after it. When, like Brandon said, it could already be around me. When I was at the beach, I was, looking through the surf, looking through if I could find, I don't know, diamond rings or gold or whatever, when you're just kind of wading around in the water hoping to find something. I found a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses one time. But I'm sitting there looking, and I'm just looking for something cool, and I'm kind of looking like I'm going, where is this stuff? Where is this stuff? Where is it? And then I just happened to look down, and there was this awesome shell right there at my feet. And that was a powerful lesson for me to go on. My source is always dropping things right at my feet. All I have to do is look up, right? And then look down. And voila, there it is. Instead of, where is it? Where is it? Man, I can't find it. Nothing's out here. Where, how am I going to stumble upon it? And it's like, boom. So thanks, Brandon, for bringing up that point. That is a solid principle that we are off, running on the surface of an infinite source that already has everything that we need. We keep thinking of reasons why we don't have it, don't deserve it, and can't get it. Excellent. Because we're in fear. We're over here, we've got nothing but this. Courage is an opposite word of fear, but I like the word trust.
I came across this video recently of this coach, and she said the majority of people are very passive, and what she meant was passive about your life and the things that you want. She said you will admire other people who take risks, but you will never take risks yourself, and you will always just sit and just always admire them taking risks and wish you could be like them or take a chance, but you'll never take a chance. But the only difference between you and them is that they took a chance.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was very...
That's, again, you nailed it. We go from passive to active, okay, to taking risk versus risky. Hear the energy? I'm going to take a risk. Oh man, that's risky. It sounds different and it lands different. If I say, man, that's risky, that's fear talking, right? If I say, man, I'm going to take a risk, then that's empowerment. That's active energy. passive is like, again, we're thinking small over there. We're small.
And when you said the word risky, maybe I just got a vision of like, maybe let's say, somebody here told their friend that they was gonna do something new out there, and they'd be like, "You sure you want to do that?" Or I don't know if I'll do that with you. But when you sit back and really think about that dialogue, that scenario, it's like, why not take it? Because we both in the same boat. But I want different. I want something better. But you're telling me, asking me, am I sure? And we both unhappy.
Excellent.
One of the things that I learned when I was coming out of college, it was so empowering, was to tell myself, and you're going to give a talk or whatever, have anything, it's okay to get it all wrong. It's really okay to get it all wrong. There's no failure because you do it, you stepped up to the plate, you took the challenge, you took the risk. What did you didn't lose, even if you didn't get the outcome
Right.
you wanted. And just the feeling that it really is okay. I don't have to prove anything to anybody else. My pride isn't even hurt.
Right.
It's okay to get it all wrong. That would take the pressure.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
If you go through the whole thing, it's okay. Those people don't care about you.
Well, and I love your story there, Brandon, because if I say risky, I'm thinking failure. If I'm saying taking a risk, I see opportunity. I see the plus side of the action, not the downside of the action. So,
It's hard when people are talking in your ear though, like this happened to my husband this past week. Something that he's doing that some people feel is a risky move. And somebody said to him, boy, that's risky. About his professional life. And you're like, why did you say that? You were doing just fine until somebody put that seed of doubt in you.
now you can go home and tell them this.
Right.
See, risky is focused on fear and failure. Taking risk is seeing opportunity, where he goes, are you kidding? The plus side of me doing what I'm doing has such a infinitely powerful opportunity that it would be risky for me not to take it.
One thing that I do is when I have a conversation with him and people talk about like purpose and what I'm supposed to do, one thing I always, and it's amazing to see that face when this happens, I said, if money wasn't an option, you didn't have to worry about money at all, what would you do? And they sit and be like, man, I would do this and this. I said, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. That's one of the best things that we can do. That's one of the best things we can do when we're brainstorming, is to take any limiting aspect of what we're looking at off of the table. Because if it instantly becomes about money, let's face it, we're going to kill it before it gets off, before we even get up to the plate. All right? So take that off the table and act as if you have all the resources you could ever ask for, plus more. You have more than enough. Okay? More than enough. What would you do? What would it look like? How would you approach it? And then you're in a position to really consider all of the options.
And even if you're not there yet, now you know what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your bracelet? What do I want?
What do you want? That's all what the universe is asking us. Is like, the ocean's gone. What do you want, wave? I've got everything you could ever want and need, and it's already here. It's right under you. What do you want? But hey, if we choose to live over here, the universe says, well, that's what you want. You're thinking small, you must want small. Okay, if you're thinking anger, you must want more anger. If you're thinking limitation, I'm just going to give you more limitation because I'm not judging what you want as good or bad. I'm I'm the source for whatever it is you need, whatever you need, and if it's more feelings of more small, then you can have that, and I'm not going to hold that back from you. Okay, because you're choosing. Free will. Free will. And so, what do we want, and how are we looking at it? It's always like,
I wrote this thing down again
bring it out, David.
a couple of weeks ago.
There you go.
People be asked, talking to me, I was talking to them, and we be having this discussion, and they're like, I'm not reading this. What we was talking about exactly right now is freedom. And I wrote in this thing, I said, true freedom is when you do, true freedom is when you do not have to ask yourself permission to be your authentic self. So I said, the only person that you fight with is yourself.
That's it.
I said, so when you don't have to ask yourself, should I do it? You should do it.
Right.
Then you're free.
Then you're free.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I was talking to my daughter or something.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, you know, what people, choices, and she believed that people's circumstances make their circumstances, their situation. And then I was telling her, you know, it's not. And so she was asking me, she was saying, well, Dad, do you think homeless people want to be homeless? And I said to her, I said, I don't think anybody wants to be homeless, but we do all make choices. We all have a story. Bottom line, we make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I said, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I had a choice to stay there or leave. So it was all about your choices. And I went to this thing last Thursday. It was about this discussion of capitalism in America. And it was so interesting how people who think that capitalism is the way it's to be. I mean, I met this one guy, he was real straight. He doesn't care about anybody. I mean, if they can't do for them, it's not his problem. And he says, you know, why would a CEO of a company worry about the guy who's in the mailroom? And I was like, man, you really think like that? He says, yeah. I said, but why wouldn't you? Because it's the man in the mailroom that's keeping this organization. He's part of it. So why will you not reward that guy? And he was like, I don't think it's our responsibility to reward. I mean, he was straight.
Yeah.
You know, I said, man, you're scary, you know?
Well.
Remind me to not work for you.
No, I was like,
I think I think though. I mean, you were on the right track though, because you were challenging his thinking, and I don't think he's thought it through.
I think when he left afterwards, because, you know, he was like looking at me, and he was like,
Hey, what if the mailman doesn't do his job?
what if he doesn't do it? I said, you know, it's maybe I'm just, I was, you know, it was like 30 of us, and, you know, and I was saying, maybe I just have this way of thinking that, because my way of thinking is for the law of attraction, that what we do is what we attract.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if we are a billionaire or we have a dollar in our pocket. It's all about compassion, how we treat people in this world. But no one is ever denying a person to live his best life.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy in the mailroom, he's not denying that guy to buy that $100 million boat.
Not at all.
He's not denying that at all.
No.
He's down there saying, man, that guy up there, I think he's just trying to live.
And if the mail guy is living his best life and he comes in every day committed to delivering the mail and handling the mail in a professional and efficient and effective manner, he's just as valuable as the CEO is. There is no difference.
There is none. And he was
Some don't get out in the mail and it results in a lawsuit.
Exactly, right.
The water in New York City city doesn't get pumped out from under those subways every single day, why
Yeah.
is that city shut down?
Absolutely.
But
Ramifications.
listening to how you describe that, it sounds like he's self-centered and didn't have like a, maybe didn't have like a, some people in life haven't had a humbling experience yet. And to live like that mentality, that's almost saying that no one, I feel like everybody in life has something to contribute.
Sure.
And when you live life thinking that no one doesn't have anything to contribute, like, you know, we talk a lot about, you know, in society, everybody talks about being an entrepreneur, but everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because who are you going to hire to
Right.
do,
But you know,
you know,
but I'm glad you say that because I had met this guy at this speaking engagement, and they asked this lady asked me to come and speak, and she invited this other guy, this pastor, and he was talking about being your best self, and he was real strong about being pushing people to be an entrepreneur, and so
Mhm.
he was in the room saying, who wants to be an entrepreneur, or who wants to live their life the way they want to live? And then he said at the same time, if your guys who are here, that means you're not doing it. You're not living it. I mean, he was like,
Yeah.
said that he was judgmental at the same time, and she always put me after him because we get such a contrast.
Right.
Loud,
Right.
aggressive, and I'm like, I'm the complete opposite. And you know, my daughter's an entrepreneur. And one thing I am, I'm honest. I told my daughter, I don't even know. For me, I don't really know what that means. You know, I never really thought about it.
Right.
I love what I do. I was in the service for 20-something years, and I worked for the school system. But I love what I do.
Right.
So, because it's not for everyone. But even though you're an entrepreneur, you say you're working for yourself, we all have contributions from everyone.
Absolutely.
Just don't run unless-
Absolutely.
You know, it's all, that's what I was trying to the guy before the capital. That thing I said, we all are connected. It's all connected.
We're all connected. All of our paths interconnect. And here's the thing. This concept that we're talking about whether we're going to choose to be a Justa or not, has nothing to do with the amount of money that we have, or the material things that we have, or whether we're a CEO or a mailman. Because I can be a CEO and my mind can be over here. I can be a mailman and my mind can be over here and living life. Okay? So it is, exactly. So it is never about stuff or money that matters. We're talking about that REAL part of ourselves, our real self. That, like you said, is the more I honor my REAL self, the more freedom I have to make my choices that are consistent with who I am, with what I want. The more I can easily dismiss the opinions of others as needing to be significant at all. Okay? In fact, my classic response becomes, thank you for sharing. I'm really going to ask that you support me. And this is how you can best support me going forward. This is what I'd like you to say, or I'd like you to remind me how great I am, how smart I am, how brave I am in pursuing my dream. Can you do that for me? And almost everybody you ask will try to do that for you. If not, it's a good test of who your friends really are and the value that they have. But that REAL can exist in the mailman, the garbage man, the waitress, or the CEO, the president, or the general. It doesn't matter.
I want to tell David something before I tell it. Another thing about entrepreneurship is, owning a business doesn't necessarily mean freedom.
Hardly.
It doesn't harder than me. I see I'm doing it.
What's freedom?
It doesn't always equate to dollars.
Right.
That's exactly.
Like, so, and a lot of times, people are, are owning businesses that they just want to make money. They're not doing what they really want to do or what they're good at. They see opportunity, want to make money. But so that's the point I wanted to make. But you know, something I just thought about when you was telling me about like the guy who was adamant about being an entrepreneur. I think a lot of times when people want to own business, it's about control, trust. And so, you know, if you ask someone why you want to be an entrepreneur, because really, in my personal opinion, I think entrepreneurship, a true entrepreneur, in my personal opinion, a true entrepreneur wants to create opportunities for people, services, jobs, not
Just
their
me.
self-motivation of, I want to make money.
Right.
I don't think Bill Gates or Warren Buffett said, oh, I need to make an extra $500. No, they focus on increasing their product,
Right.
not dollars. You know.
Absolutely.
And so
That's the true spirit of the entrepreneur.
That's the true spirit.
But that's what makes
A mailman can have the true spirit of the entrepreneur.
And so like whenever and I'm saying this for everybody in the room, because like how you challenge the thinking to say, so why do you want to be an entrepreneur? It's like, well, you want to leave your job? They're like, yeah, they might fire you one day. Okay, so that means you don't trust. They're like, yeah. So when you own a business, you're gonna trust your employees to come?
Sure.
It's the same. It's the same.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. You
No,
know?
that's true.
And so then that's when you get down to the motivation.
Yeah.
Because to really be an entrepreneur, you got to trust people. People going.
You got to trust everybody.
You got to trust everything.
You gotta leap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so if you trust in,
And you got to count on people who are not entrepreneurs, meaning as defined as having their own business.
Right. And so if right now you're on a job, you trusting that that your job not going to be stable, it's not going to leave. You're not going to. You pretty much your mindset is telling you that you ain't gonna be successful in business either.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
the
Same principle.
same principle.
Because I think when they get in that mindset, they always think of it as it's just only them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they don't think of the bigger picture, that it's an involvement of everyone. Definitely, if what you're trying to do becomes big.
Right.
You know, I think guys like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, what they did is what they was pretty much doing for themselves. They loved it.
Sure.
Exactly.
It just blew up.
Love what you do.
Yeah.
See that on there?
Right.
What you want.
Love what you do. All right? Because if I love what I do, I'm not going to be living over on that side,
Right.
no matter what job I'm doing. I'm going to be living over here on this side. I'm going to be in excellence.
There's a guy that I was listening to on a podcast this past week, and he was talking about the concept of vision, just in general. And he was like, there's a difference between having sight and vision. And sight is what you can physically see, touch, feel, hear in and around your space. And sometimes what you see is not as encouraging as what you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
you can see, what you can see around you sometimes is everything on this side of the board, lack, limitation, scarcity, all of those things. And he says, but vision is what you see when your eyes are closed. So, meaning if you can catch a glimpse of where you want to be and what you want to be able to bless other people with, if you want to bless the mailman if you've got your own business, or how you can take care of others or be a blessing to somebody else if you were blessed with financial means to do so.
Right.
Or whatever. If that's your dream, then you got sometimes you have to keep your eyes closed and not just see what's just around.
Well, that's where vision becomes envision. So I like the word envision. Can you envision it?
Right. That's what-
Because
right.
envision it's spelled is it E-N?
I think.
E-N, but I think of I-N. Envision is the vision I have within myself of what it is I'm trying to do, and am I aligned with my envision, outward? And am I living on this side, or am I just fill in the blank?
This is one thing I like to do is almost imagine myself already in the moment, or already having.
Sure.
When I say having, meaning, I guess the best example I can give is a rapper named Drake. When he said before he even made it, he would go live in expensive hotels. He would drive expensive cars. He would just for the weekend.
Yep.
And he said that I did that because I knew one day this was going to be my reality. And I needed to envision myself and already taste it, already sit in the car. Because one day I knew that I was going to be here. And so I had to get used to this life that I wanted. And I thought that was like so like cool. It's like even if you know, most average person, they want to drive a certain car, they'll never go in a dealership and just walk. Maybe touch or go. They live and they see houses that they never go drive.
Well, see, and that the whole benefit of that is that's just like scripting. So that's a good segue into scripting. When we are scripting, which is writing as if you already have what you want, and you've got your journal and you've dedicated it and you're writing in it, is to describe what it looks like, feels like, and sounds like to have what you want. To be in the car. I am in the car of my dreams. I am in my black Lexus LS 500, which is a they start around $75,000. Okay? I intend to go down to the Lexus dealership and sit in one because I want to align with that emotional vibration. Because that becomes the power. We can have the fleeting thought. But that's why I like this exercise of doing this vision board. Because when I put a private jet on here and a yacht, I've never been on a yacht like that. And I've never been in a private jet. Okay? And I had a little blockage going, what are you doing putting a $100 million yacht on there and a private jet? You've never been in one. You've never been invited on one. What makes you think you can? Okay? Right. Who am I? Yep, that's expensive cigars, whiskey, all right? All these watches are at least $30,000, $35,000 a watch, you know? And so I'm like, what am I doing putting those things on my vision board? I had to do a gut check with myself because I was living over there.
Yeah.
Okay? But I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm like, and then I kind of bargained with myself. Okay, well, if I don't ever buy my own jet, could I at least score a ride in one? And that's where the light bulb went on and said, hell yeah, I can at least score a ride in a private jet or score an excursion on, a yacht. That became a lot more reachable. So I'm settling for that,
I got a beach house.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So you never know. But if my blinders are on and I think no way, that makes me small. So if I'm saying no way to those things, what else am I saying no way to? Everything. Everything that requires more than what I have.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard the story of Jim Carrey when he didn't have anything, he wasn't famous yet. And he wanted to become an actor really badly. And he said, and I think the amount was $10 million. And he wrote a check to himself in the amount of $10 million and gave him like 3 or 4 years to accomplish. And signed it. And then right before that time period rolled around on the calendar, he wound up making $10 million for one movie in Dumb and Dumber.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to where, which I thought was a really interesting story, and that he would go to the top, he would go to this little drive that he would take to the top where you could, like a lookout point, where he would go and sit and think about what he wanted in his life. And whenever he wanted to just sit and envision himself doing those things, he would go to this little point, and then, at night he would watch over the whole city.
Yes.
And then wrote that check to himself for $10 million, and then right as that time period was coming around, he made his first $10 million.
Yeah. That's an excellent story, and that I've done similar to that before. I've written deposit slips out for money, and then I've written checks out for the bills and things. And I just started the exercise again, and I'm trying to be consistent at it as a little money book, to where I think today I deposited $8,000 and I spent it all. So you write the date, today's date, $8,000. I gave $800 to as tithing, and then I had $7,200, and I'm like, okay, I've got 72. Fortunately, I still have some bills to pay, so I wrote whatever bill that $7,200 would pay for. Now tomorrow I'll deposit $9,000, and I'll do the same thing, and then I'll go to 10. And then after I get to 10, I'm going to bump it up by $5,000, okay, until I get to, I don't know, a number, and then I'm going to start to bump it up $10,000 a day. And my goal, your goal is always to spend that money down. Right then and there, make a list of what you would spend the money for. And I like doing that exercise because, again, it aligns with this sense of that there's always enough that, like, wait a minute, but it's that initial block that goes, man, I'm writing down $8,000 as if this is paid for already today. And I'm like, whew.
But what's the incentive? I'm really confused. Is it 10,000? Is it 10 million?
Doesn't matter. It's all
I
the
think the 10 million
Oh, I
was
see what you're
just.
saying.
I think
Yeah.
the 10 million was just a number.
symbolic.
It's just symbolic.
Because everybody has to have something that's
Right.
that's like.
No, I don't think you can.
That's all these are symbols. So whatever vision board you do for yourself, whatever your amounts you're writing, it's all symbolic. But here's the deal. If we can't overcome the symbol of it, how are we going to ever experience it in real life?
I'm just saying he was worth that.
Yeah.
Getting paid.
He's worth getting paid. And acknowledging that value that says, wait a minute, I am worth $1 million. I'm going to write a check to myself.
$10 million over and over again because Dumb and Dumber was a classic
movie.
Yeah, right.
In a way. Yeah.
And so, but that puts you on this side of the equation. So we've all got to get past this, am I just or I'm just fill in the blank, and go, is that our truth? Is that how we want to vibrate? Is that where we want to live? It's okay if we want to, okay? Or, wait a minute, do I want to go over here? And again, remember, this is not about money. It's not about a particular position. This is about your quality of life. And more so, I like what I put here in the middle to inspire me is, give and you shall receive. Okay? Zig Ziglar, I think, said, you will get what you want when you spend time and energy giving other people what they want. Okay? That's where the real opportunity comes, is what service, what influence can we be with others? How can we serve others? What are we giving of ourselves? You're giving away your knowledge and education and inspiration for health. You're giving are you still doing real estate? Or you're giving away your love for putting people in their dream homes. You're giving away the value of beautiful portraits and images in your photography. You're giving away motivation and inspiration to your girls and inspiring people around you. That is the crux. And when we pour ourselves into giving that away and find enough creative ways to be giving that away, what happens? The ocean responds. More comes up, more becomes available. So in closing, don't be Justa. Look within, envision who you are, live large. Be great. You already are great. You're a powerful creator. You have dominion over all things. Go out and create excellence. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's been a pleasure to have you tonight.